In November 2024, I had the honor of attending the Earthshot Awards hosted in Cape Town. In rooms, spaces, and even boats filled with people making a difference, I knew I had to play my part the best way I know how, through storytelling. So journey with me as I sit down with some of the most innovative people in Africa who are repairing our planet by protecting and restoring nature, cleaning our air, reviving our oceans, building a waste-free world, and fixing our climate, and might I add, empowering women all over Africa. My takeaway? No action is too small. We can all do something. So I ask you, how will you play a part in saving this place we call home and impacting another person? Today we are joined by Fenora, who's from Solar Sister, and she oversees the operational structures in Kenya. She does strategic planning and makes significant contributions through her leadership. Hi Fenora, welcome.
Hi, Mphomi. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Very well.
Very good. I think let's just get straight into things. I would love for you to share a quote or a saying or an African proverb that you live by.
I think one of the African proverbs or a saying that I live by is, every day when you wake up, you need to ensure that you are making a difference. So whatever you do, make sure you are making a difference or you are making a change. So that's something that really encourages me on a day-to-day.
Nice. So where does that come from and why live by that? Is it something you just adapted as you got older, or has it just been a way of life for you?
I think it's something I adopted when I started getting older, and basically just mostly around, the work that I do. So I am
Yeah.
really motivated by, the fact that I want to leave the world a better place.
Yeah.
But also maybe from where I originate from, the Luya land, like in western part of Kenya. My grandmother used to really push us to enable, just to make sure that she's showing you that it's important that you really are able to make a difference and show a difference in, however much little, whatever you are trying to do. Just ensure that you are showing that there's a difference that you are bringing out.
And I think I'd just love to hear a little bit about your upbringing. Did you grow up comfortable and then later realize, oh wow, there's a lot happening out there and I have to make a difference? Or did you actually grow up having to go through poverty, and that's what pushed you to start making a difference in women's lives?
I would say I didn't really go through a lot as a child because
Yeah.
I remember, during my young age, my dad acquired a solar home system and brought it home. And, we were amongst the first people in the community to actually own a solar home system. And, I used to see my neighbors and, just people come to my home to charge up their, phones and to watch TV and to do such things. So I didn't really understand, how much of a difference this would bring, because as a
Yeah.
young lady, I didn't sort of like experience a lot of trouble with lighting and, all those things. But, as I grew up
Yeah.
into my career, then I realized that it's actually, a gap that needs to be filled. And so I continue to grow my interest in, working with women and making this difference and changing the community.
I think on that note, can you just tell us a bit on what Solar Sister actually does and what your role is there?
First of all, I would start by my role. So I'm the country director at Solar Sister Kenya, and I basically just oversee our strategy, operations, and I'm also able to support the team here in Kenya. So all things Kenyan operations, that's on me.
That's a huge responsibility.
Sure, it is for sure. And what Solar Sister as an organization does, so Solar Sister is a social enterprise, and our work majorly is to provide women with economic opportunity, training, support, and technology so that they are able to distribute clean energy, or rather a range of clean energy products in the last mile communities, majorly in Africa.
Thank you. That's such incredible work. And I want to understand how the organization actually supports the women to start their own business. What is the process of one, the recruitment, two, the training, the supporting structure, and to make sure that the operation becomes successful and it doesn't just, stop at the training?
Our support really comes in, when we go into these communities, we first of all need to identify who these women are. And once we know that, there's this woman here, there's another woman there, and they are really in need of this opportunity that Solar Sister provides, then
Yeah.
would give them a training. And so once they go through the training, then we are able to bring the products to the women. So we do have, I would say, three kind of types of training. So one of the trainings is what we really like call, I would say, like the initial training or basic training. So this is what they would
Yeah.
want to get to be able to understand. Like if I want to run a clean energy business, then I need to know about the technology part, which is the product that they are going to sort of distribute. They need to learn some skills around um, um, goal setting. They need to learn some things around how to network. How do you even go
Yes.
out with the product? How do you start? So all these things are captured into our basic training. And so this basic training, we usually customize it to be able to fit the needs of the women. And so even if a
Mm.
woman is not like able to understand English, because our trainings are English and in English and Swahili, we can really
Mm.
translate it into the local dialect and ensure that even the woman down there who is not literate, they can still, through the
Sure.
support of our local team, be able to benefit from the training that we provide. And so
Yeah,
after the
and be
basic
upskilled.
training, yeah, we also have women who've been with us for more than a year, and those now are able to go through what we call advanced training. So this is more of like, how to access finance, like it's more on top of, just the basic training and technology. What else? How do you grow your business from the level that you are
Mm.
at now to the next level? And so we also are able to add another bit of the training, which we now call digital literacy. And so this one
Yeah.
comes in just to, ensure that our women are able to stay competitive. They're able to, with the world right now, there's a lot going on with social media and stuff. So they are also able to, market their products. Maybe something like
Yes.
WhatsApp for business. How do you use Facebook, not just for your social needs, but also to be able to
To make
elevate and
money.
grow your business. Yeah, make money, in other words.
Love that.
Mhm.
And I love that it's in phases, especially because you have to be considerate of the type of woman, where she grew up, literate or not literate. And I think you go to a
Mhm.
lot of rural areas. And for me, what is standing out is that you start by actually goal setting. We take for granted that not everybody knows that goal setting is a thing. It's a soft skill that one must learn, networking, etc. And that leads me to my next question. Why do you guys push entrepreneurship instead of employment? Because I think it could be easy to just say, hey,
Mhm.
we've got this social enterprise, we're
Mhm.
looking for women to come and work. But instead, your focus has become about, we want you to start your own business.
Mhm. Because a lot of the women we work with are, women who are, doing other things alongside just this entrepreneurship job. So they are mothers,
Got
they are
you.
wives, and so it doesn't, being an entrepreneur doesn't make you stop being a mom. You still have to ensure
Yeah.
you are
All
taking.
your other roles.
Yes, you still have to do your other role. And so what Solar Sister is doing, we are saying we are coming in to, sort of like add on to what you already have, and not really to say this is a job that you must report to, because, just to look at
Mm,
livelihoods. The challenge we used to face with women then is a lot of women would come and, maybe just report 2 days a week, and they are not able to report the other 3 days. When you try to follow up,
sure.
their reason is, maybe because, they are not able to balance between, an 8 to 5
Mm,
job and, doing their other house chores. So like the
yeah.
flexibility that this opportunity offers really places women at a better place, because they are able to plan themselves, plan their day, basically say like, I'll
Yeah.
be able to do my house chores from this time and this time. I'll drop my child to school, and then I'll take 3 hours or 4 hours try to go to my women groups and, find sales. And then I'll come back and, like they are able to plan it out themselves without the
Yeah.
pressure of I have to report to someone, I have to tell maybe my manager why I am not able to report and things like that.
So, was the mission always to eradicate poverty and build up entrepreneurship for women, or did it start with we just want to provide clean energy specifically for Solar Sister?
I think the mission has always been to eradicate energy poverty, and yeah, maybe I can talk a little bit about the story of Solar Sister and how the whole thing evolved. So our former CEO, and I'm saying former because she transitioned from her role of being a CEO for Solar Sister towards the end of last year, and that was December 2024. And so right now we really have a new CEO. Her name is Olasimbo Sonjiri. So really a great woman doing a lot of different things with communities out here, so we are proud to have her. And so Catherine Lucy was on a mission back in 2008 to with a charity organization to go to Uganda and just be able to support the communities in Uganda. And so they came across a local pastor um, who whose wife was called Rebecca. And so this local pastor was living in a very off-grid community. And so he happened to be one of the luckiest people who benefited from the solar kits that this charity organization was giving at that time. And so, Rebecca's husband ended up getting, a solar kit which had 3 bulbs. And so he was really happy, excited about it, and went home and told his wife Rebecca that, I've gotten this solar kit from, this charity organization, and this is how I want us to sort of have the light bulbs placed. So I want one bulb placed in my living room. And since, he's a pastor, I want to be able to, have meetings with my church members even at night. So without the worry of, it's getting dark, how are we going to hold it? Yeah. And then one bulb, another, the second bulb, I really want it to be in the passageway so that I can see my way from the living room to my bedroom. And then the third bulb, I want it to be in our bedroom. And so Rebecca interjected. She was like, I have a different opinion on that. I really want one bulb, just like you're saying, I agree with you. Let it be in the living room to serve you with your guests. But then this second bulb, why don't we have it outside so that I can be able to, see my way when I'm coming from the farm at night? And then the third bulb, let's have it in the chicken room. And so one thing that Rebecca knew and her husband and maybe everyone else in the community didn't know, that chickens only feed when they can see. And so by having this bulb in her chicken room, she was able to, get her chicken to really grow big, and they produced a lot of eggs.
It's
And
business.
yes, she ended up, like growing her farm, selling eggs, growing a really big farm, and even coming up with a community school. And so Catherine Lucy
Wow.
was like, if this one can be able to make such a change in her community.
Huge change just from 3 bulbs.
Yes. What can a
Sure.
whole community of women entrepreneurs do? And this is how Solar Sister
Hmm.
was born. Like from, we usually call that the Rebecca's chicken story. It's really inspiring. So we like to tell it a lot.
Sure. Thank you for sharing Rebecca's story. I think for me, and I've always grown up in the city, so electricity has never been a thing except when we started having load shedding, which was a huge thing for a lot of South Africans, specifically in the cities and town. And I think it was an awakening of, majority of Africans live like this, where in fact for us, load shedding was just a matter of a few hours of no electricity, but there's people who just never have electricity.
Yeah,
And what these conversations with all the solution providers are highlighting to me is that something as small as a light bulb can change an entire family, can change, eradicate poverty. I mean, for us, you just walk in and you switch on the light. You don't think about anything.
yeah,
And when you're sharing Rebecca's chicken story, there was an entire strategy meeting with her husband of where we are using this light and where it will add the most value.
right.
Sure.
Mhm.
So I love stories like that because I think they make us a little more sensitive to things we don't think about every single day. So you I was going through your website and you guys noted that your model doesn't only improve income, right? And I think the first level for everyone is like, do you have income? Are you eating? But you mentioned that it improves health, education, and a woman's status. Can you just unpack that for me? How specifically it improves their health and the education system? And I think status, you explained it through Rebecca, but if you want to, you can go a little further.
Yeah. So when we are talking to our women, maybe through the trainings, we usually just show them that you are doing more than just carrying a light bulb. It's not just
Mm,
part of you. This is a solar light or a solar lamp,
yeah.
and I'm gonna carry it and sell it and make money. There's more to it than that, and more to it is now what you're talking about. You are saving lives, because
Sure.
by distributing these clean energy products, you are bringing health to the lives of the communities, because a lot of communities really suffer from the issues of smoky eyes because of using the traditional, kerosene lamps. There's a lot of,
Mm,
chest issues happening, with, a lot of the smoke that is produced is just basically
yeah.
very unhealthy. And so when this woman is bringing this product to the community, they are saving lives, not just for themselves, but to the community that they live in. So they are doing things for other people more, and for themselves, their children.
And I think as you're speaking, I'm also just looking at I'm thinking of the quality of life. Like for a child to have to quickly rush home to do homework before the sun goes down, it means it's taking away from their playtime. And like those things aren't small things, but it's part of growing. So the quality of life is improved so much by a simple solution. I almost want to say a light, just a bulb can improve the quality of life. It can improve the education of a child. You know what I've realized in the conversations I'm having is that, COVID did a lot of damage, but what it also did, it highlighted a lot of issues that I think a lot of enterprises got to focus on. Things that seemed like not an issue. As soon as the world shut down,
Mhm.
we realized how much need there is and how much people are dependent. And I think there was a bit of positive change and strategy in how we can solve the issues of people.
Yes.
And my last question to you is, how has changing the lives of others changed you personally?
I think I've started to look at things really differently, because, yeah, I told you when I was growing up, I didn't experience the issues of energy poverty firsthand.
Yeah.
But then as I grew, I saw that, there is need and people are really going through a lot. So, like, by changing the lives of these women entrepreneurs, it has changed me as a person. And when I look at, when I experience a new person today, I want to look beyond what I'm seeing, because you
Yes,
might
ma'am.
you might just make an assumption that this person is okay. Maybe they are living the same kind of life you are, which is not true. There's a lot,
It's not true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot that is going on at the background. And so you might meet a woman and wonder, why are they not employed? Why are they not doing something for their lives? But there's a lot,
Mm,
They haven't just gotten a job that would give them this flexibility. Maybe they haven't gotten something that they would be able to really balance well between what they are doing, raising families, and be able to do
yeah,
the job at the same time. So I am able to just look beyond what I'm seeing now and go further into
yeah.
understanding things better. Yeah, if that makes
What
sense.
I love and what I'm hearing you say is that you've started to see people. For someone who wants to make a difference where they are, and maybe they don't work for a social enterprise or they don't have the means to start an organization, where would you encourage people to start to make an impact in the lives of people?
I would say just start where you are. What do you have? Start with what you have. And that's what Solar Sister basically looks at. I've
Mm,
talked about things to do with, are you in any groups? Can
yeah,
you look at what you can afford? And that's what can actually, make a difference in your life, however small it looks, because, some women start with just one light, and you look at this woman over 1 year, you cannot imagine the kind of change they've been able to make.
I believe that, and I'm so grateful that what you guys teach. I think what has stood out for me is that not only are you teaching to sell, but empowering women to dream, empowering women to also serve other people. There's so much power in serving
Mhm.
your own community. There's a sense of responsibility and a sense of ownership and a sense of leadership that is extracted in that. So thank you so much for joining. I don't know if you want to share anything. How has partnering with Earthshot really elevated or assisted Solar Sister?
Yeah, I think it's good one for them to just come to the countries that we operate in to see the operations
Yeah.
firsthand, because it's one thing if you're just talking about something on paper, and here you are really
Mm,
showing that this is the work that we do. And then now having opportunities like this where we can be able to speak about our work, and
yeah.
share with the world, because not everyone knows about Solar Sister. We still have a lot of people who need to, know our work, support our work. So this is a very
Support. Yeah.
good platform, and we really do appreciate, and just looking forward to more bigger and better opportunities for Solar Sister.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.